This is Brad Niehues, field sales agronomist with Pioneer Hybrid, covering southwest Kansas and eastern Colorado. Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about corn leaf disease identification and management. We're entering a time of year out here that we're starting to see a lot of planes in the air, putting on fungicide and insecticide. In fact, just to my west, the mile, the planes flying in the air right now. What factors are you going to consider before putting a fungicide on corn or managing a disease? The most critical thing we can do is just good scouting and proper identification. Most of the fungal diseases we deal with out here in my part of the world are gray leaf spot, common and southern rust, to a lesser extent northern corn leaf blight, but those are diseases that we can control with a fungicide. We also have Goss's wilt, some Stewart wilt, a new phenomenon called bacterial leaf streak we've seen the last couple years. Those are through more of a bacteria. Those will not be controlled with a fungicide. So critical to make sure you get the disease properly identified. And how are we going to do that? Well, we want to go out in the field and spend some time looking. You can see this corn's tasseled. Most of the time we want to kind of be down here in the lower part of the canopy, kind of looking to see what we got going on. Not every time, but a lot of times the disease will start here. Sometimes with rust it may come in on top later on the season from windborne coming from the south, but a lot of times we'll kind of start here looking, especially with the gray leaf spot. You know, we got a lot of soil and residue out here, and the inoculum is in that soil and residue, and rainfall, irrigation can splash some of that up on these lower leaves, and that's how the infection initially gets started. So we want to monitor that. This field here, it's got a little bit of gray leaf spot. It's kind of primarily in the lower part of the leaves. Haven't really seen a whole lot up here in the middle part of the canopy. So right now, probably watch this one. Come back next week, and it's starting to get up on this ear leaf and above. Now it's time to consider a management with fungicide. There's other factors involved with that too. What's the hybrid? Does it have a pretty good tolerance to the disease? What's the weather going to be like in the next 5 to 7 days? Is it going to be hot and windy? Is it going to be warm and humid? Typically, these fungal diseases are going to be more favorable in a warm, humid environment. Not every time, but typically that's the way it is. So, say we said we want to protect this plant. You want to protect these ear leaves and up. That's your money leaves later in the year. These leaves here are going to fill that grain and that developing ear, so we want to protect that. There's a lot of different options on the market. There's curative fungicides, there's preventative and curative fungicides together. Some people will put a fungicide out as a preventative before they really even see much disease, hoping it doesn't ever get started. Sometimes we've got quite a bit of disease. We'll put a curative type fungicide on there to hopefully stop that disease in its tracks right there. You also have ones that have both in it. So I would consult with your local agronomist or retailer which product's right for you. The main thing is those fungicides are effective against these diseases. So be confident in that. We also, like I said, have gray leaf or Goss's wilt, Stewart's wilt, bacterial leaf streak out here. That's why it's so critical to make sure we identify those, because if you make a misidentification, bacterial leaf streak can look pretty similar to gray leaf spot. In fact, there is some out here. You're not going to be happy with the result because it's not going to slow that disease down. So we've went ahead and sprayed this field. One thing I want to point out is out here, a lot of times we will do tank mixing of other products with our fungicide. We can do this. Always consult with your labeler or agronomist, but sometimes we will put an insecticide, say we're going to try to control some rootworm beetles, or a miticide. We have spider mites blowing up on the lower part of the plant, or some people even put extended release nitrogen in with it. Most of these products is okay to do that. However, some of the products have a surfactant in it, and you never want to add surfactant to a fungicide prior to tassel. There's a stage about 12 leaf. This corn, you'll say, is tassel a little bit farther along, but we'll have a developing ear leaf down here about 12 leaf. That's the first time you'll kind of see that first ear shoot. If we have a fungicide tank mixed with another product that has a high surfactant load in it, we spray that and it hits this leaf, and a rainfall irrigation event hits this leaf and washes it down to that developing ear shoot, we can have a phenomenon called arrested ears. And an arrested ear basically is an ear that is a dwarf ear, or sometimes it'll be nothing, it'll be a blank ear. We don't want that. I have seen situations in the past of 30 to 50 bushel losses because of improper timing. It is rare, about every factor has to happen for it to hit, but it can happen. Just make sure that if you've got corn pre-tassel, you're looking for that ear shoot and where it's at if you're tank mixing. If it's just a fungicide, you're good to go. It's if you're tank mixing and that surfactant that could be in that product. This corn here is tasseled, we should be fine doing that. But again, always consult with your agronomist or your local retailer on those products. So we've made an application to this corn. What do we think about next year? What can we do next year to hopefully help with the management of that disease? Well, in our area we do a lot of continuous corn, so we just have a lot of inoculum in the soil and the residue. Tillage can help. We don't do a whole lot of heavy tillage out here anymore. That can help bury some of that residue. Crop rotation to beans or wheat can help. Probably the biggest thing we can do is hybrid selection. No hybrid is going to be totally resistant to, per se, gray leaf spot, but they'll have more tolerance to that disease than other ones. So good selection of your hybrids. Also, just keeping that corn as healthy as you possibly can. Sometimes that's not possible. Mother Nature throws us a curve. We get a hailstorm, we get a windstorm. It's been dry for a long time. Out here we're kind of blessed with irrigation, so we can tend to keep those plants, that profile, a little wetter to help stave off some of the drought conditions. But a lot of times diseases seem to proliferate when there's a stress. So anything we can do to keep the stress off the plant will help. Again, this is the thing I can't stress enough. Proper identification and scouting is key to disease management. If you ever have any questions or not sure about something, please reach out to your local Pioneer sales agent or agronomist such as myself. Again, my name is Brad Niehues, and we will be happy to assist you. Good luck with the rest of the summer, and I wish you much success for the harvest this fall. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the video.
That concludes this Pioneer Growing Point Agronomy video podcast. Visit our page on pioneer.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more agronomy insights.